So before I start my topic, Mr. Jimmy, George and Maggie have told me not to talk too much because it will be boring. So hope it will not boring for you all. Thank you.
希望我讲的内容不会太冗长哦，不会让你们感到无趣哦，请大家多多包涵。
So my topic and explanation is about Sri Lanka, about a city in Sri Lanka called Berwala. So I would like the audience to say with me, Berwala.
Berwala.
Oh, this Kaohsiung city, not enough. Taipei was more louder. So again, Berwala.
Berwala.
All right, let's start from there. So I'll just start. Berwala is about actually 60 kilometers away from the city of Colombo. Colombo is our economic city, the capital, not the capital, but the main city from Colombo. It's in the coastal area.
首先我想，今天的主题是我想讲的这个宝石交易的这个城镇叫贝罗瓦拉。刚才大家都念得非常好贝罗瓦拉这个城市是在斯里兰卡首都可伦坡南部，在靠西边的海岸南边大概60公里左右的位置。
So Berwala is not only historical place for gemstone, but as for the Sri Lankan history, politically, and further on, it's a historical place.
首先我先澄清一下贝罗瓦拉这个地方除了宝石有它的重要身份之外，其实这个城市对斯里兰卡来说，不管在历史上、人文上，其实也都占了很重要的一个地位。
As because Berwala, especially for the Muslim people who is living in Berwala, the people from the first Muslim gentleman who came to Sri Lanka in a vessel got down from Berwala.
在贝罗瓦拉这边其实有很多的回教徒穆斯林族他们都是来自很久以前从航海的方法来到斯里兰卡。
Why Berwala was historical for gemstone was in the ancient history, and Berwala has more than 1,000 years of history, and it's in the 8th century. The old days, in the historic ancient days, when the kings were ruling the country, there were Arab vessels coming in search of spices.
历史悠久这个大概在1000多年前，大约在西元在第8世纪的时候，其实就有记录曾经有那个阿拉伯的商船到斯里兰卡做贸易。
So the Arab countries like Morocco, Algeria, Saudi Arabia, the places like that, the people came to see and to buy the best quality spices from Sri Lanka.
这些阿拉伯的商人多半来自北非的摩洛哥或者是利比亚这些地方，然后来到斯里兰卡寻找任何可以贸易的商品，像是香料。
But all these people who came, the foreigners, didn't know that there was gemstones in Sri Lanka. So because this was one of the first and only port where the foreigners were coming in to buy spices, all over the country, the people knew there are some foreigners that coming and buy some products. So the people from Ratnapura is a district and a belt where you get all the fine quality gemstones found in Sri Lanka. Ratnapura and Berwala, the distance is about 120 kilometers.
OK， 所以当初阿拉伯的商人来斯里兰卡的时候，当然不知道说其实这个岛上有宝石。但他开始有一些贸易出现的时候，这个岛上其实岛上的人是知道他们是有这个宝石出产的。他们听到消息说在贝罗瓦拉这个地方，当时是这个岛上唯一可以接受国际商人那个船可以进来停港的地方所以这些宝石的商人开始彼此互相宣传说，有外国人的人来这边 对我们宝石可能会有兴趣。主要出产宝石的地方是在斯里兰卡的内陆一个叫拉纳普拉的地方，那个地方有很多的宝石的的那个挖矿者。
So when these people got to know that there is gemstones found in Sri Lanka and it's available for buying, this news spread out the world. So from Portuguese, English, and many other countries, vessels came in of looking gemstones in Sri Lanka, and they all came to the Beirut port.
于是这个消息传到那个阿拉伯人的商人他们也把这个消息带回了欧洲。于是没多久，这个消息就传遍了欧洲各地，不管是英国还是其他国家，西班牙、葡萄牙，陆续都开始有商船进入斯里兰卡进行宝石的购买。
So then, meanwhile, the people from Ratnapura district, the Ratnapura area, where you find the stones in the minings, they used to carry their stones. Some people were walking from Ratnapura to Beruara. Some people were using the ancient traveling way, the bullock cart, to sell the merchants that is coming from many parts of the world.
于是这个宝石的交易就这样开始了刚我忘了提到拉纳普拉这个城市是在距离贝鲁瓦拉大概120公里所以这些在拉纳普拉出产宝石的矿区的人们，为了要把宝石运送到贝鲁瓦拉这个海港，他们用尽各种方法。当然，从以前的话，毕竟是走路啦、步行，当然也有用一些比较简单的运输工具，用简单的木轮来做运输。
Because that time in the centuries, Sri Lanka were ruled by many kings. So most of the finest quality gemstones were taken by the king and given to the king. Meanwhile, the king had many relationships with other part of the world's kings or rulers. So the king allowed the Sri Lankan people to trade in their products with the foreign products with the gemstone.
斯里兰卡在他们的古老历史陆续有许多的君王统治这个岛屿国家。那这些君王其实也都知道他们岛上有宝石的出产，然后那个国王也非常的乐于让他们的人民很自由的将宝石交易到他们周边其他的皇亲贵族。
So as you know, the kings were having the finest quality. Some of the few people knew how to make the stone beautiful, how to make the stone cutting, and how to make the polish. Only few people were knowing who was attached with the king.
即便是如此当然那个最好的宝石大概还是由在地的皇亲贵族国王才能够拥有。不过当时能够懂得如何去切磨宝石的人，其实真的非常非常的少。
So the king he sent one or two craftsmen to Beirut to train one or two people to cut the stone, because the stone was mined in Ratnapura, and the people who bought the stone for the trading didn't want cut. They want to trade as it is like a rough stone.
所以国王拥有很漂亮的胚石但是很可惜没有能够得到很好的切磨。于是他得到消息有外来的商人，他就开始指派一些人就去贝罗瓦拉这个海港，去跟这些外来的商人去学习如何去切磨宝石。
So this trading slowly developed. By developing, some of the foreign countries who bought these precious stones were also teaching the local Sri Lankan people how to improve, because it was not so in a high quality standard on those days. So they tried to teach the improvement and make it more and more better.
于是多年来像这样子的双方互惠的一个这个微妙的关系，渐渐的成长。那个外来的商人购买宝石， 他们同时也把他们的切磨的技术留给在地。
While the days go and the time pass, one of the best preformers were produced in Sri Lanka and in from Beverly for like blue sapphires, cat's eyes, blue star sapphires, especially the Patparajas.
所以有很长的一段时间哦，这些重要的斯里兰卡出产宝石，像蓝宝石或者是莲花刚玉，他们的初步的切磨跟成型，其实都是来自贝鲁瓦拉。
As you know, to cut a precious a corundum sapphire is the most hardest part of our trade.
在我们这个产业里面啊，其实真的切磨刚玉的难度是最高的。
Because of the color bands, the color patches, the color lines. You know, when you find it from the mine, it's not like the diamond. You know, diamond there are various colors of diamond, but there are no color patches or color bands in diamonds. So it's almost a machine, a new technology machine. If you put the rough stone, a diamond can be cut and taken out.
钻石其实在切磨上跟色石相比较起来，相对的是容易多的。因为钻石其实我们有很高的科技，现在你可以把它放入机器可以帮你分析该怎么切磨。但是像蓝宝石刚玉类的这样宝石，有各种不同的颜色特征，像色带、色区，所以要在怎么样去判断，怎么样去切磨它，其实难度是非常的高。
But as you know, a sapphire is not like that. When you find the rough, you have to get the correct color, the size, the shape, the cleanness, the fire has to be all good. Then only the value, a real value of sapphire will be there.
在最理想的状况下，当然我们在挖到宝石的时候，我们希望它的尺寸是最大的，然后它的净度还有它的外观形状各方面都是非常理想。
For example, if you take the stone Patparasha, as you have made, most of you have done the GIA and know about stones, the Patparaja stone is the most difficult because the Patparaja color is called the sunset color.
我们在座许多都是宝石专业，我相信你们都知道其实像这样，我们举个例子，莲花刚玉这个东西，它的颜色的形容是非常有学问的。
So the precious and rarest Patparaja combination is the color of sunset is equal to 50% of pink sapphire and 50% of yellow sapphire mixing together.
所以大致上来说，莲花刚玉理想颜色也叫做日落的颜色。最理想的话是能够有50%的粉红色跟50%的黄色。
And when you have these two together in a strong color, you get your value, the price, and the rarity. Whereas, if you cut it wrongly, if you lose the pink when you are cutting it, you will have a yellow sapphire. But if you lose the yellow sapphire while cutting it, you will have a pink sapphire. So, to get these two colors mixed is the most interesting and the most challenging and the most difficult part.
所以如果一个宝石能够切磨成让它看起来有50%的两个色调，当然是最理想的。可是并没有那么简单，因为你一不小心就可能把它切成黄色的刚玉、黄宝石或者是粉红色刚玉。
As like the cat's eyes and the blue stars and the star rubies. You know, the cat's eyes when you take, the eye has to be completed, it has to be sharp, it has to be middle of the stone. For example, if the eye is on the side or in the back side of the stone, there is no value at all.
就像猫眼石或者是星纹宝石一样在切磨上其实真的要下很大的功夫，因为你不小心，它出现的线或许不会非常的在宝石的正中间，或是它或许在某些地方有些缺陷。像切猫眼石的话，如果它的线有可能你切不好，它线的出现的地方是在宝石的后面，那就麻烦了。
and the star ruby and the blue star. The star sapphires, you will have to have the 6 ray. Some people call as 6 legs. So while cutting it in the material, if you have only 5 stars and 5 legs, we call as a handicap stone.
那么举个例子，如果是新纹的宝石，像新纹蓝宝石，你的纤纹一不小心的话，很有可能让应该要出现的六个星芒变成只有5个星芒。这样的状况，我们常常就必须开玩笑说，糟了，我们把它切到残废了。
So in this stage, for example, in our minings, we get some sapphires weighing 1 kilo, 1 kilo of weight. But when you take for a value and when you cut it, sometimes, not all the time, you get only a 10 carat stone.
所以像有些时候，我们从矿区挖到一个可能有重达几公斤甚至10公斤的宝石，但是切磨完成了一个完整的宝石，或许只能得到10克拉的成品。
So in this process of producing one of the best quality stones, there are 3 categories. One is we call as the slicing of the stone. That means you get a 1 kilo stone, and to get that 10 carat, you have to slice it without damaging the clean part.
我稍微讲一下在那个切磨宝石的功夫，3个很大的要件。第一个就是在宝石原石上，你先决定一下你要把哪几个不理想的地方，直接先把它切掉，直接剔除掉。
Second is the preforming. Preforming is to get the top color in the face and to decide whether to cut an oval shape, whether to cut a cushion shape, or whether to cut a heart or any other shape is decided on the second stage. And for the purity and the cleanness of the stone, plus to get the fire of the stone is the second stage.
第2个步骤则是帮它做一个初步的成型，在这个时候你要决定说你要将这个宝石切磨成什么样的形状，哪一个方向要朝上，哪个方向是尖底，还有你还要考量到其他的部分，像净度，或者是你切磨完之后它的颜色的呈现跟它的火花会不会是最好的。
So the third stage is the polishing. You put the diamond powder and you polish the stones and make the facets and make it shiny. So the incredible thing is in Bedwala is all these 3. Birth is from Bedwala. So, as you know, like me, I am from the 3rd generation. But we never continued our higher standard studies in universities in business management or scientific things. Our parents and our grandparents used to send us to these cutters to learn about cutting and polishing. It's like a university that we go and study from there.
好，那第3个步骤就是最后的步骤是抛磨，帮最后的宝石做刻面，让它展现出最好的火花。那贝鲁瓦拉这个地方是能够长久以来都是能够做这3个步骤的地方。像在我小时候，在我们当地贝鲁瓦拉当地我们这边的父母，他们常常最大的愿望就是希望他们的小朋友也能够持续延续这样子的产业，所以都会把小朋友很年轻的时候就把他们送到那个宝石切磨室那边去做学徒。
While in this market has another name, the city is Bedwala, but the market is called China Fort, Pattakade. China Fort also has a great history. When these traders were trading for spices and gemstones, many people came from all over the world. While this happening, a flu was there in that city.
OK， 我这边想插播一个小故事其实，在贝鲁瓦拉这个地方，宝石交易的地区是在一个山丘的上面。这个地方现在我们这条街我们的名字叫做China Fort， 是中国堡。那这故事的来源大概是这样子的。其实，在很久以前 这个地方其实就是宝石的交易的热络的一个中心。哦，但是其实当时的当然科技没有那么进步了，医学各方面条件都很差。哦，然后在宝石的这个交易的界，某个时间啊开始出现一个感冒或者像瘟疫这样的一个健康的一个危机。
So this illness was not able to be cured by the local doctors at that time. There was a Chinese vessel coming into the harbor, and in that vessel there was a doctor who heard this news that people are sick, has a sickness, and that cannot be cured. So he got down the vessel and walked into the Bay River, hilly mountain, a small mountain area, the highest point of Bay River, and went to that. Especially there was a house that has this sickness for all the family members, and he covered the whole house around with wooden planks and wooden these things, and he covered and decided to medicate them.
OK， 所以这个疾病哦，其实在那个时候非常的虐心啊，其实这个当地的医疗的技术实在是没有办法去剔除。那刚好在那段时间，刚好有来了一艘来自中国的船，这个船上有个医生，那个船上有医生哦，他听到在地那个消息，于是他就进城来想帮助这些人们。然后他观察了一阵子之后，他决定要做一个很克难的一个小小的医院。他选了一个在比较山点的地方，可能那边的那个感染比较少。他选了一个地点一个房子，他请在地人帮他做了一个像是围墙的一个状况。他用棕榈树的树把它编织成很克难的墙壁，然后做成一个很临时的很克难的一个医院。
And at last, the doctor from China cured the sickness, cured the illness, and gave the medicines. And the mark of the respect and for the unmemorable service that given by the doctor, that area was named, because it was covered from wooden, was called China Fort.
这样被筑起来的这个木皮编织成的这个城墙哦，就看起来远远看起来就像一个小城堡一样。那当地人很感谢这位医生哦，做了这样子的事情，其实拯救了很多人的性命。于是他们就把那个地方就为了纪念这个事迹，就叫做中国城堡、中国堡。
So as you can see in this picture, China Fort Berua Sri Lanka market in year 1955. Only these few people and the few houses and the main street where that is in the middle is still the street there, but it has been developed in a vast majority way. So this is the old picture that was in 1955.
这个图片是这个中国堡这个街哦，在1955年的时候的景象，这是最主要的道路哦，然后所有的交易几乎就是在这条街上进行的。
And today you can see the picture, the same street that you saw in 1955 has been developed. Officers have come, buildings have come. All the people from all over the part of Sri Lanka come for gemstone trading here, not only for cutting, preforming and polishing, but to trade their gemstones here. So in Berua market, in a week, there are 2 days that you can trade. One is Wednesday and other one is on Saturday. It's like starting from 9 a.m. till goes on 3:34. Actually, why there were 2 days was, on Wednesdays, actually in the past history.
当然我看到图片，这是现在的贝洛瓦这个交易界的景象哦，其实还蛮现代的，有许多这些办公的大楼，还有你看这么多的人，其实真的是很热闹哦。那
Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday and Saturday.
那我想讲一下，我们这个交易市场其实哦，依照传统的话， 通常交易日是礼拜3跟礼拜6，然后时间是大概早上9点到大概下午将近4点的时间。
So Wednesday was chosen, you know, lot of the youngsters of this area, like the population, when you talk about Beirut, China food population, 90% of the people are engaged in this business. And the youngsters of the area, they go to Ratnapura district on Sunday. They buy the stones from the mining people in the rough formation, as these people have good experience how to identify a good stone in the rough and bring it to Beirut on Monday.
在我们这个交易市场这边其实从业人员大概其实在这个地方的居民大概有90%的人口真的就是从事宝石交易相关的行业那我想稍微解释一下为什么交易的日期传统来讲是在礼拜3跟礼拜6首先礼拜3的原因是这样子，其实他们贝鲁瓦拉没有产宝石嘛，他们必须要到120公里远的拉纳普拉去采买原矿，然后带回来切磨。于是他们会派比较年轻的去跑腿，所以年轻人就会在礼拜1的时候被派到拉纳普拉去买原矿，然后再花1天时间把东西带回来，然后在礼拜2的傍晚回到贝鲁瓦拉之后就赶快去切磨它，所以好好的面对礼拜3的挑战是这样子。
So they bring the stone on Monday, slice the stone, preform the stone, polish the stone on Tuesday evening. By Wednesday morning, they will sell the stone to a local Beirut trader.
所以他们在这样的过程，礼拜1跟礼拜2去运货，然后在礼拜2做切磨。他们礼拜3面临的客人，通常就是他们在地之间彼此之间交易的商人是在地的。
So on Saturday, the people from Colombo, people from Gaul, and some foreign people coming to the market on Saturday, and the local dealer who bought the stone from these youngsters, they do the trading on Saturday.
接下来是礼拜6所以他们在礼拜3在地的这些宝石商人完成他们交易之后，再2天的时间去准备礼拜6。礼拜6的客人通常是来自斯里兰卡其他地区，像那个首都可伦坡或者是任何地方都有可能会选在礼拜6来做来采买宝石。
But presently, there is no restriction that Wednesday is only for local people and Saturday is for another people. Everybody can come on Wednesday or Saturday is no problem because of the market change.
当初是这个传统但是这个发展到现在，其实这个市场非常开放，不再是只有礼拜3或礼拜6，或是限制是哪一天是只有哪一种商人可以在这边交易，其实是非常开放的，非常自由。
So people from all around the world, Thailand, USA, Hong Kong, Europe, Taiwan, we have a very good history with the Taiwan people who's kind of been to Beirut many people, and for the last few years, China recently coming in to buy, and India, of course, they are quite well, are now mostly coming for their trading.
所以现在我们这个市场，其实我们常有客人是来自泰国或者是中国大陆这边都是我们常有的客户。像我们其实过去的这几年来，台湾跟斯里兰卡贝尔瓦这边的也有很不错的交易的历史。
And now as the new mines have opened up in some other countries in Africa like Madagascar, Mozambique, Zambia, Tanzania, Kenya, so that these people who have already a good rough knowledge is flying now to those countries and buying the rough and bringing it into Beirut and trade the stones there.
我们也知道现在在世界上很多地方也都有出现各种不同的彩色宝石的矿区，像坦桑尼亚、莫桑比克、马达加斯加。其实从贝鲁瓦拉来的这些宝石商人，他们对宝石原石的购买跟切磨是非常专业的，所以他们也会到这些不同的地方去做采买，把这些东西带回贝鲁瓦拉。
And it has been an international market now. So as you see in these pictures, you can see there are a lot of Muslim peoples around here. As you know, the first Muslim guy who came in from an Arab vessel married a single Buddhist woman in Sri Lanka.
所以我们看刚刚的画面啊，刚刚画面上的人群，其实大部分都是穆斯林都是回教徒的阿拉伯的后裔哈。那其实你可以想象，在非常早期阿拉伯过来这边的交易的人哦，大概在这边就开始有通婚，所以通常都是男生啊，那个船员几乎都是男生，然后在地娶了他们回教徒，然后娶佛教的斯里兰卡人做老婆。
It's like me, I'm also from there.
就像我一样。
You know, people say for joke, you know, Arabic people like to marry many women. You know, so he has married in Sri Lanka. So we are produced from that actually.
我们经常开玩笑哦，其实回教徒是可以有4个太太的，说我们真的很喜欢结婚这件事情。
So it carries on with the history of the country, a placement, a recordable, a remarkable place. Because in this city, there are 3 major industries. It's not only gemstones, fisheries, and tourism. Because we have the nice coastal beach around there. There are nice resorts. There is good fishing. So a lot of tourists also come. This is one of the rarest places in the world for me, where you can do both. Do business in the morning and do holiday in the evening.
贝罗瓦拉这个城市哈，其实仔细想想，它除了宝石交易之外，它还有很强的渔业，还有非常不错的观光业。其实在那个地方非常适合度假。你可以想象哪一个地方在世界上你能够同时做这几件事情呢？早上采买宝石，然后下午就在这附近的度假村好好的度过接下来的一天。
And the best part of this Bedwala, the harmony with the people. You know, as you know, the Arab has come married the Buddhist lady. As like that, the mining owners in Ratnapura district is Buddhist people, and the people from Bedwala is Muslim people. So we have a very good relationship. You have heard in many countries there are communal problems, religious problems, but in Bedwala and Ratnapura around, we have no problem with each other.
贝罗瓦拉这个城市还有一个很棒的特性哦，就是不同的宗教的人可以和平相处。像我刚刚提到的哈，我们那个阿拉伯的后裔在这边一直都是有跟那个在地的佛教徒通婚，而刚刚提的像拉纳普拉是宝石出产区，那边人几乎都是佛教徒，他们跟在贝罗瓦拉几乎全部都是阿拉伯后代的人，可以如此这么多年来一直有着很好的合作关系。所以这是非常难得，在世界上这么多的征战跟冲突，你在贝鲁瓦拉看到的，在斯里兰卡跟贝鲁瓦拉看到这样子的和谐是非常难得的。
So in this market, you find all kind of variety of precious and semi-precious stones, except for diamonds, emeralds, and jade.
话说回来哈，在我们这边市场，其实全世界你能想到的各种不同色石哈都有。可能除了几个有例外，像翡翠、祖母绿跟钻石，在这个市场是没有的。
And whenever you come or whenever you deal, there are their own laboratories opened by the people of Bedwala, where nowadays the fathers, the parents, they send their children for higher studies like GIA, FGA, and all kind of things, and they have opened their own laboratories there.
所以现在这个地方哦，其实发展到现在，除了宝石交易之外，也有很多其他的产业发展，像宝石鉴定啊，或是切磨的教学。所以这个地方其实，在以宝石的来讲，其实能够提供的技术方面层面其实蛮多的。
So you can test your stones and carry on with the trading. So this is about basically about the Bedwala. But I would like to, you know, as I was telling in Taipei yesterday, the people from Taiwan are so beautiful, because not from the outlook, as of for my experience, I have been to many countries, I have done many lectures and some seminars, but some part of the countries I would not share my own opinion because they tend to stick to the point what I'm talking. But as the people, Taiwan people, I love you. So I have to share this, my personal experience with you.
我想特别提一下关于这个我对台湾的感觉哦，其实我觉得人真的很重要。去过各种不同的国家，做许多不同的演讲哦，其实并不是每个国家我都会觉得我很愿意去分享很多关于心中的一些真正的想法。但是在台湾，我觉得我目前所遇到、所认识的在座的包括在座的各位，其实都让我感到非常非常的有人性的感觉。
It's you can't tell as an experience. You can put it as a trade secret.
其实这个已经超过经验，这其实真的怎么讲，可以算是一个产业的一个秘密。关于这是人性的这个重要性。
As you know, these gemstones are found in minings, in the mining areas, in the paddy fields, in the rivers, most of the times. So, as the elders of our trade and our fathers and grandfathers have told us, it is a product from nature.
好像我们知道，其实在挖掘宝石的过程，它们的来源通常就是大自然的地方哦，或许是河里，或许是在田里，或是你要往地下去挖掘，这些其实都是仔细想想，全部都是大自然送给我们的礼物。
So, as I believe, these are gifts from the God that has given. When we deal with this nature, we have to be honest, we have to be true, and we have to take care and respect the nature. If you don't do, as my experience, when you do unnecessary things with the nature's product, definitely the nature will react to you.
就像我的长辈先进常常在告诫我的，其实我们真的要非常的尊敬大自然给我们的任何的一切。如果我们对大自然有所不敬，通常大自然也会还以颜色。
Especially for the youngsters that I'm saying, like Sri Lanka, in Taiwan too, there are elders who is doing this business or the trade for generations. Some of the people that I have met yesterday and today in exhibitions or wherever, they are coming from the third or fourth generation with their experience. So the youngsters have to know, to succeed in the business, you might have the knowledge, you might have the experience. But remember this very well. Without the blessings of the elders, you cannot succeed.
其实诚信真的很重要哦。其实不管是斯里兰卡还是台湾，我这几天其实在台湾也遇到很多的珠宝从业者，很多都是第二代或第三代，斯里兰卡也是。其实我觉得很重要的是这些比较年轻的一辈一定要记得他们的先进长辈辅助交代的这些事情真的很重要，你一定要从你的前辈去学习。这是在这个产业的一个不是从经验，这是一个真的是不是从经验可以得来的一些的好处。
As you know, we might be knowing more technology than them, we might be more educated by them, but the touch of their heart and the blessings and the experience that they are sharing will be definitely a successful businessman in this trade.
我们的知识，我们对科技的了解，或许远远超过他们，但是他们能够给你是他们心中的一些真实的一些心得，这些经验是没有办法我没有办法体会的。
As you know, the personal experience that I have gained in the city of Beirut, I have been the mayor of the age of 24. But at the 2016 report from the government of Sri Lanka or from the Export Development Board, you can see, I am one of the first 5 or the best 5 exporters of gemstone. This is all because of pure blessings of the elders in our trade.
像以我自己来讲，我的经历啊，我从24岁就当选市长，而且在过去几年来，其实我们如果去查那个我们国家的一些进出口资料， 我的那个成绩，销售成绩其实非常的好的，但是我觉得这一切我真的完全必须要归功给我的长辈，因为他们我才能够有今天的任何的成就。
So before I conclude, I would like to give the message. If any of you want to learn about cutting, want to have the experience, maybe you personally, or if you want to send your children, is open. We open the hands and we welcome you anytime, and we are there to help the trade and educate and give the experience for children and for the generation ahead.
在我开始进行做结尾的时候，我想跟大家讲哦，我希望让在座各位仔细听好这个，因为我真的很希望、很欢迎你们大家不管是家长还是年轻人，你们如果想来贝罗瓦拉来学习宝石的一切切磨，还有各方面，我真的是诚挚的欢迎。
And definitely it will be free.
而且完全免费，你相信我。
But there is one condition that you have to agree.
免费说免费，但是其实有个条件。
As you know, I have a good customer of mine from Germany. I have been working with actually my father and me now for about 18, 19 years with him. So when I became the mayor in Beirut, I went near him and said, his name is Mr. Hans. Mr. Hans, for the last 19 or 18 years, you had made good money, because personally I know how much he made. So I told you have made good money. Now it's time to you to give back something to our country and Beirut.
我想分享一下，当我成为市长的时候，其实我们家族有一个很好的交情很久的好朋友，他也是我们的客户，他名叫韩斯哈。然后他当市长没多久之后，他就跟他讲说，老朋友，过去的10多年来，我知道你真的赚了不少钱，我真的知道。我蛮希望你有机会的话，可以能够回馈给我们这个国家，在你赚钱的地方。
So he asked me what? So we had already an existing school, a small school around this market. It's about only 10 minutes away from this Beirut market. I told we need 2 buildings for the school. And he asked me how much will it cost. I told it will cost about 12 million rupees in Sri Lanka rupees, that is approximately about $80,000. Immediately he agreed, and we built that 2 schools in Beirut.
于是我给他建议哈，在贝鲁瓦拉的大概10公里外有个学校，其实就我本人所知是非常需要有个新的校舍的，所以我跟他讲说，你可不可以帮我们盖一个校舍给我们当地的学生？啊，他问说多少钱？结果后来金额大约是台币250万左右。
And the school is free of charge for the children in the area. As you know, Sri Lanka is free education and free health. So we went to the government of Sri Lanka and got the teachers, and today there is about 3,231 children who are studying there free of charge.
于是韩先生就答应了哈。然后其实这个教育其实在斯里兰卡是免费的，只是其实很多时候是硬体设备的缺乏，所以当他同意的时候，我们马上就带他去政府去申请了这个所有的相关程序，去请了很多的老师，还有很多各方面的协助，真的就把这个校舍盖起来了。
So the whole city of Beirut, including me, we blessed the person who has donated, and for their children and for their generation who is coming ahead with good health and good wealth.
像这样的贡献其实给在地的影响是很大的哦。不管是对在地人来讲，除了教育之外，当然你能够大家带来更好的财富还有健康。
So that is the only condition. You come to Sri Lanka, make good money, learn what you want, and we are not telling to make you tomorrow or in 2 years. When you are satisfied, try to give something back to the country.
所以这是我的条件哈。如果真的你有机会来斯里兰卡学习的话，我愿意提供所有的资源哦，都可以免费。但是希望在你们以后如果因此而赚钱的话， 帮我们做一点回馈。
So before the conclusion, I'll just read out some major stones that have been produced from Sri Lanka, and cutting and polishing ware has been done in Bedwara. You know, the blue giant of the Orient is 466 carat. The Morning Leader newspaper in the Ceylon, Sri Lanka, published in 1907, following a moonstone sapphire worth 7,000 pounds has been mined. The belay of Asia, 400 carats, discovered in a paddy field in the Ratnapura district. And the blue belay is held in the highest esteem among blue sapphires, owning highest price peacock blue. Then the Logan blue, 423 carats, considered to be the second largest facet stone, is in the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, is donated by Mrs. John A. Logan. Star of Lanka, 362 carats. The Star of Lanka has the reputation being the third largest sapphire of similar quality is existent. Found 224 carats named as Star of Asia. Ruser Reeves, Star Ruby, 138.7 carats, the world's largest ruby of comparably fine quality. It has rare features of excellent color, a defined star, and good transparency. Now it is with the US National Museum collection in the Smithsonian. And the Star of Asia, where now it is in the under the National Gem and Jewelry Authority of Sri Lanka. So if I read out some of all those things, you will be able to have dinner. So I just stop with few. Now these are the remarkable stones that has been produced from Sri Lanka and the workmanship from Bedwara.
我刚才念的这几个其实我不好意思，我就不一一翻译了但是刚刚讲的几件真的是很重要的蓝宝石还有刚刚有个新闻红宝石，其实世界上很多很大记录宝石者，不管是价值或者重量，这些宝石的切磨的成品都是非常惊人的，都是重量级的宝石，在各个不同的博物馆里面展示中，有一个很重要的共同点，就是他们很多都是来自于斯里兰卡的贝鲁瓦拉。
So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Before that, I would really again thank Mr. Jimmy, the president of the Taiwan chapter, my brother George, and Miss Maggie, who is in charge of the Kaohsiung, and my colleague Nalin Fernando, and Miss Jing from Shanghai, and all the other people who has been able to do a wonderful and a nice arrangement to make this a remarkable and a memorable moment for me. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We are using and we are advising the clients to make the laboratory report before you pay. So it's a very important thing in the market. Before you pay your money when you are buying, please make sure that you get a certificate from a reputed lab.
其实就像其他的宝石交易中心一样，其实都会是有的但是比较起来，像跟泰国比起来，像扩散处理的这个部分，其实相对是很少的但毕竟还是有，所以我其实都会建议各位如果有来这边做消费的话其实宝石在带回家之前，一定要给在地的鉴定所先做一个过滤，来保护自己。但是无论如何那边如果有状况的话，你马上知道那个在地的，他们通常也会马上帮你做处理。
But when you compare with other parts of the world, when you trading market, we have really minimized the situations.
但是比较其他地方的宝石交易的风险来讲，贝鲁瓦拉算是相对是非常低。
问题要提问。
好，就像刚刚陈老师所讲的，什么在斯里兰卡什么宝石值得投资？
Okay, the question is, what do you think is the best choice for investment in terms of this?
Sorry?
Investment.
Yeah.
What do you suggest to buy Bedwara?
Actually, it's a good question. There are a few people who have asked me the same question. The best investment stones will be from Sri Lanka is like blue sapphire. especially the Patparaja, because like rubies, for example, you get in Mozambique, Burma, and many other countries. You get blue sapphires from Madagascar, Tanzania, Sri Lanka, but the finest, and Burma too, but finest qualities come from Sri Lanka. And Patparaja, the best quality in the world up to now, Patparaja are produced in Sri Lanka, and this kind of stones is in the Belwala market. And the beauty of the market is there are trading happening from $1 stone to maybe more than $1 million stone also.
OK， 其实如果你要到贝鲁瓦的话，我当然直接建议就是斯里兰卡产蓝宝石，然后当然从这世界各种世界上各地其他地方都会有蓝宝石的出产，但是其实斯里兰卡平均起来比起来的话，其实品质通常是会比较好的。然后还有莲花岗玉，因为莲花岗玉的形成是非常困难的，斯里兰卡是出产非常非常高等级的莲花岗玉出名的地方。然后在市场上蓝宝石也是比较容易找到，莲花岗玉相对比较难，但是还是找得到的。不管是从比较小颗、价位比较低的到非常高档的，其实在贝鲁瓦拉都找得到。
Especially when you are in the market, so if you are not so familiar with the stones and the pricing, please bring a friend or a guidance with you for the quality, checking the standards, and for pricing. It will be very much helpful.
当然，如果你要去宝石交易市场，但是你对宝石的行情是真的是完全一无所知的话，建议你还是带个比较能够信任的好朋友，或是这方面比较熟悉的同行，跟你一起去会比较理想。
Question.
知道啊那边。
Hi, I'm just wondering, when I go there, should I just go to China for it and will have someone guide me, or do I have to look for some stores specifically?
The thing is like this, the thing is when you walk in to the market, you will be having brokers on the street, but I don't advise, as my personal opinion, I don't advise you to go with just a broker. Because nowadays people try to make money. They don't appreciate the value, tradition, and honesty. So always try to get a reference, a friend from Sri Lanka that can help you. For example, if you are coming anytime, you can call me. I can give an honest broker, or whatever the help that we can do, we will always do. But try to avoid to get the just brokers from the road.
Oh, and any other minor details to be
then the other one is like always they will ask the high price. There is a big negotiation that you have to do. If the stone is worth $100, definitely they will ask for 200. So you have to have a price structure in your head. And if the stone is 100 and if you want to get it 100, you have to start it from 70, and you go on carry with the negotiation.
刚才问题是那这样子我们是不是能够就飞到斯里兰卡，然后到这个宝石交易市场就这样走进去，然后是不是随便就找一个中间人呢？那当然答案是说其实当然你可以这么做了，但是风险就很高毕竟你不认识对方是陌生人，你要承担这个风险，其实是真的蛮不值得的啦。他会建议无论如何你如果要找一个中间人的话，找一位是由别人推荐的是有问题的话，你是找得到他是别人可以告诉你说他跟他有交易经验是没有问题的这样是真的会比较理想。
And definitely, especially when you are buying the unheated stuff, do not pay without a certificate that is indication that it is unheated. So have to be very careful. But people are nice. But every market is not only Belwala, they try to play out. So try to be in good hands. Then because in the history there are dealers from Europe, America, Thailand, and Hong Kong who is doing business relationship with Sri Lankan people for more than 25-30 years. But these guys who were in good hands were never failed. They are more successful. Because if you are in good hands, definitely the people from Sri Lanka will definitely help you to be more successful. So it is also a challenging thing to get the real guide.
我刚 才梅尔菲也有说哦，现在在座的各位朋友既然认识他了，如果真的有机会去那边有任何购买的一些体验不好的话，都告诉他，他会帮你负责解决。哦，这样。当然了，其实他也没有办法保证说每一个人、每一个商人在斯里兰卡都是最诚实的，毕竟一定会有一些不好的状况啊。所以这真的其实人真的很重要，特别强调一下，不管你在哪里，我在台湾一样，你一定要选对一个选另一个人，你要从这方面下手。所以你那个建立很好的、良好的这个商业关系、买卖关系是非常重要的。你要知道如何去跟一个人合作。
And always when you are buying in the market, please keep in mind the weather condition. Sometimes, it has happened, you buy in the market and when you go home to Hong Kong or Taiwan, it looks changed. So always if you are buying a blue sapphire or a patparaja, you have to use the morning hours, not the evening hours, because in the evening hours it looks more beautiful. And when you come to your country, oh, this is a stone what I bought, you get a shock. So always try to use the morning hours when you are buying stones.
补充一下前面一点其实还有，如果你在购买无烧的商品的时候，真的一定要在地或者你要讲好说，一定要等到证书鉴定报告出来之后，你再付钱这个非常重要。再来还有一个建议就是关于天气的状况，你要考量到你在建厂，你想要考虑买东西的时候，你使用的灯光是如何。像我会觉得说白天的灯光是蛮理想的然后但是到下午的灯光的时候，通常会比较暗。有些比较颜色浅的宝石，可能看起来会比较漂亮，就会形成说你如果是灯光比较环境比较不利于你的